Good Sunday evening. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Melissa Thomas here with your News 13 Homeschool Help Moment for the evening. Today we're going to be talking about a really deadly symptom of severe weather. When you think about things that are very dangerous and could probably kill you in severe weather events, the ones that are wild and come to mind first as some of the scariest phenomenon out there is tornadoes or lightning or a hurricane. But none of those are actually the most deadliest aspect of severe weather. Would you believe it? Water is. But as a society, since water is life-giving and we use it for everything, drinking, bathing, playing in, swimming in, we don't really consider water as being a major contributor to death in our society. We have a little less respect for it because we use it in so many other ways in our society and we enjoy it so many other ways in society. But water is very dangerous because water, when it occurs in the form of rainfall over a short period of time with lots of it, flooding can occur. So heavy rainfall can lead to rapid water rises in low-lying areas and rivers. So when you're thinking about a flood, and I'm telling you water is dangerous and it can kill you and you better watch out for floods, you're probably thinking of what's on the screen right here. An entire river rising up on roads, and maybe you're thinking Grand Rapids and like lots of water rushing around, and that must be how water during floods can be dangerous. But in reality, as little as 6 inches of water can take a human off their feet when it's rushing underneath their feet during a thunderstorm, whether that's on roads, low-lying ground, grassy areas, your backyard. Water packs a powerful punch, and it only takes a little bit of that water to take your feet right out from under you, and now you're in the water. Are you going to drown in 6 inches of water? Hopefully, you're able to get back up and you're not drowning in just 6 inches of water. But if that current is strong enough and it pulls you, sweeps you away to a deeper section of the flooding or a more dangerous part of a flooding event that you can't get out of, that original 6 inches of water taking you off your feet and pulling you down in certain ways might be a very dangerous situation for you. So you're in your car. I'll be safe. I'm in my car. It's really not that much water. I'll just drive through it. 12 inches of water is all it takes to sweep a car or SUV away. And so you're all of a sudden driving and you're confident in this little bit of water in front of you. It's about a foot of water and you're like, I got that. I'm just going to just drive through it real quick. You go through that water and now it's sweeping you away to a more dangerous section of the flooding that you might not be able to drive out of, and now you're stuck and you're in a deeper part and people are having to come help you. 18 inches of water is enough to drag a large vehicle away. So there's very few vehicles out there that can go through most flooding situations. There are some vehicles built to go through flooding waters, but for the vast majority of the cars that we're driving around on the roads, cars, SUVs, larger vehicles, they're not built to withstand the powerful punch that water does pack when it's flooding around you in a flash flood situation. So you'll hear meteorologists say all the time, and we just won't stop saying it until the vast majority of us understand how powerful water can be in situations like this and to respect it. Even though on every other day of the year, outside of a severe weather event and flooding situation, water is our friend. In these cases, water is not our friend. Turn around, don't drown. If you are driving on the roads and you come up on a flooded situation, a big puddle that you can't see what's beneath the surface, it's best to just not drive through that. And in flash flooding situations, this graphic looks like a river has risen up and the bridge or that road is underwater. It doesn't always take an obvious river in front of you to signify a dangerous flooded situation. It could just be a regular part of the road in a part of town you drive through every other day of the week, and during this flash flooding event, in particular severe stormy event, it's underwater now. And you There's many reasons to not drive through that. One, it only takes 12 inches to pull your car into a more dangerous section of the flash flooding. But then you don't know what's under that surface. There might be some hazards to your tires under that water. It's just not worth it. Turn around. Don't drown. The difference between watches and warnings. My educational moment last night covered watches and warnings, and you can have watches and warnings related to flood conditions. Our flash flood watch is letting you know that you are in a zone that has conditions that are favorable for flooding to occur if a storm rolls over that part of your community, rains down with enough water per rate of rain, so how much rain is falling in an hour. If that's large enough, then that area is probably going to flood, and you should be considerate of that while you're making travel plans and watching the forecast and watching how much rain is dropping across the community. When it turns into a flash flood warning, that means that it's occurring. The flash flooding has begun. The rain rate is enough to induce flooding. Flash flood warning means take action. So that means not getting out on the roads. That means if you are not sure about a certain puddle's depth or what's in there or how strong the current is, don't drive through it. Turn around. Don't drown. Respect the water. Flash flooding is occurring, and taking action could also mean we are on your property. You're in a low-lying area. You have outside equipment. You have things around your house you want to pack up. You want to prevent from getting washed away or damaged. That's something else you want to consider. It's not just driving on the roads. If you are in a flash flood warning and your home is in the section of that warning, you want to consider what you can do to protect not only your life, but your property. Really want to make sure life's a priority. But if you can take care of your property as well. That's probably good to prepare when you're under the watch conditions. Once it turns into a warning, life comes first. Take action, get high up, get into your home, take shelter, don't get on the roads. If you are on the roads, turn around, don't drown, go somewhere safe. Before the flood, during the watch conditions that I was just talking about, know your risk, where you're living. Are you in a floodplain? Are you vulnerable to floods? Or if you live along the coast, are you in a section of the community that is vulnerable to storm surge when hurricanes are rolling in the area and they're producing these strong winds, these that are rushing onshore, and they're just driving those wave heights up, and they're just pushing the ocean or the Gulf, in our case, a little bit further inland, and sometimes a lot further inland. Is your home susceptible to flooding when the storm surge occurs? Because you could have flood warnings in that case as well. Check insurance for coverage of flooding. Goes for your vehicles and your homes. Clear storm drains of any loose debris so that when it is starting to rain down and flooding conditions are starting to arise, you can put up a good fight and stall the major damage potential as much as you can before. And then charge all of your electronic devices in case of emergency. That flash flooding event somehow knocks the power out in your home and it gets worse and you need help. You want to be able to call for help, or in a less severe situation, your power goes out. You want to have access to information on when the event is wrapping up, when it's looking like the dangerous situation is starting to lighten up a bit. So many reasons to have your phone charged. Stay tuned on updates as far as the weather goes, and call for help if the situation gets too hairy for your home or where you're at. Flash flood, a flooding that begins within 6 hours of heavy rain, often occurs within 3 hours, so really quickly. That rate of rain is really fast. There's lots of rain pouring down over one location, and it's due usually to heavy rainfall from thunderstorms, and can also occur due to dam breaks or mudslides. And dam breaks happen. In Middle Tennessee recently, a dam broke in Putnam County, and there's pictures of a road just washed away by the water. Like, just a good section of the road looks like a river's going through it. So that can occur. Know where you live. Are there dams surrounding your community, near your community? And if it were to break, are you in a floodplain associated with that dam malfunction? And it is dangerous due to high, fast-moving water. And like we spoke about at the beginning of this discussion, doesn't have to even be high. It can only be 6 inches to take you off your feet and drag you somewhere dangerous. 12 inches to get your car somewhere where you don't want it to be and to damage your car. So flash flooding in general, not something to mess with. Respect the water. It's every other day of the year, fun, life-giving, and our friend. But when you are in conditions, you have a watch that day that flash flooding is possible. Take it seriously. Consider where you are at in that zone of a watch and have ways to get alerts for when that watch turns into a warning and you need to be considerate of possible flooding to your property and to your life and to keep you safe and protected. Well, little slightly shorter one today, but we did a 25-minute one yesterday, so we'll take it. We'll take a little short one today. Hope you guys are doing well. Stay healthy, and until the next News 13 Homeschool Help of the Moment, I will see you next time.